पिछले दो क्लास में हम लोगों ने ट्रांजिशन मेटल्स और इनर ट्रांजिशन मेटल्स का पीरियोडिक टेबल में पोजीशन और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन के बारे में डिस्कस किया। ग्रुप 3 से लेकर के 12 तक जो पीरियोडिक टेबल का हिस्सा है उसमें ट्रांजिशन मेटल्स और इनर ट्रांजिशन मेटल्स रहते हैं। 3D सीरीज, 4D सीरीज और 5D सीरीज में 10-10 मेटल्स हैं जिन्हें हम ट्रांजिशन मेटल्स के रूप में जानते हैं, और हमने उसका सबका इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन भी आपके साथ डिस्कस किया है। ग्रुप 3 में लेंथेनम और एक्टिनियम के पोजीशन पर एक्चुअली एक एक एलिमेंट नहीं बल्कि 15-15 एलिमेंट्स हैं, और उसको हम लोगों ने बताया था कि वो लेंथेनाइड्स और एक्टिनाइड्स कहलाते हैं। जैसे ग्रुप 3 में स्कैंडियम, इट्रियम, लेंथेनम, तो यहाँ हम लेंथेनम से अब लुटेशियम तक लिखा करेंगे और ये एक्टिनियम से लॉरेंसियम तक। तो इस जगह पर कुल 15 एलिमेंट्स हैं और यहाँ भी 15 एलिमेंट्स हैं। ये एलिमेंट्स हमारा लेंथेनाइड्स कहलाता है और इसको हम लोग एक्टिनाइड्स कहते हैं। तो ना केवल हमने ट्रांजिशन मेटल्स का इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन बल्कि इस लेंथेनाइड्स और एक्टिनाइड्स का भी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन आपके साथ डिस्कस किया था, और मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप सबने उसको अच्छे से लर्न कर लिया होगा। अब हम लोग आज के दिन डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट ऑफ ट्रांजिशन मेटल्स, एंड फर्दर वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट ऑफ इनर ट्रांजिशन मेटल्स, द F block elements. So first about the oxidation state of transition metals. Let us first write the transition metals of 3D series, which starts from scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper and zinc. This is from group 3 to 12. As we all know, the transition metals have variable oxidation states. That means the metals having more than one oxidation state, like in iron, you have oxidation state of +2 and +3. Most commonly you know about the iron oxide FeO and Fe2O3. You know about FeCl2 and FeCl3, FeSO4 and Fe2SO4 3. These are some common compounds of iron which exist in +2 state as well as in +3 state. Similarly, for the copper, we have oxidation states of +1 and +2. We have the copper compound CuCl, CuCl2, CuSO4 and Cu2SO4. You can write Cu2O and CuO. So in these simple compounds, you have the copper in +1 state and copper in +2 states that you can find out. You have the metals like manganese, which have various oxidation states from +2 to +7, and you have different compounds like MnO in +2 state, Mn2O3 in +3 state, MnO2 in +4 state of manganese. Then you can have Mn2O7, where you can have the +7 state of the manganese. So these are the various compounds of the manganese with the from oxidation states from +2 to +7. So various compounds are known. Now, why this variability in the oxidation state? To understand this variability in oxidation state, we have to look the electronic configuration of these transition metals. So again, I'll write the electronic configuration first. So for the scandium, it's a argon 3d1 4s2. Titanium, it's a d2s2, d3s2. As we know about the chromium, it's a d5s1, d5s2, d6s2, d7s2, d8s2, d10s1 and d10s2. The chromium and copper, this I am underlining it because of the half filled and full filled. The chromium and copper have more stable configuration. So as we all know from the Hund's rule, the 3D orbitals having n plus L equals to 3 plus 2 5, and 4s orbital having n plus L equals to 4 plus 0 4. So energy of 4s is less than energy of 3D. That means first the 4s orbitals are removed, as it is being the valence shell orbital. These 4s orbitals are released. So every system has, this is a transition metal where I am writing the cells in 1, 2, 3, 4. So fourth is the valence shell, which has the s orbital having less energy as compared to the d orbital, which is here. These d orbitals are the inner orbitals having more energy, but it is not the valence orbital. So first the valence orbital electrons from the n equals to 4, they participated, and the electrons are released from here s everywhere. So the first two electrons are removed, but when these electrons are being removed, which having less energy, more stability, then promptly the 3D electrons which are having more energy, they are being released. They are having a tendency for the participation in the bonds. So that's why not only the 4s level electrons, but 3D level electrons, 3D orbital electrons, they also participate in the bond formation, and hence we are having the variable oxidation states. So this variability depends on number of electrons in the d orbital participating. So variability in the oxidation state for the scandium, you can think that this can also have the +2 state, but as far as no compound of scandium is known in +2 state. All the compounds of scandium is known in +3 state only, although there is a theoretical possibility of +2 state also. But as soon as the two electrons from the s orbital participate in the bond formation, this only one electron in the d orbital released simultaneously, and you are having the compounds of scandium SCO2, Sc2O3, ScF3, ScCl3, all in +3 state. So no compound of scandium in +2 state. But here in case of titanium, two electrons are released first from the s orbital, then one by one there is a release of electron from d orbital. So titanium has the oxidation state of +2, +3 as well as +4, and compounds of titanium known are TiO, Ti2O3, TiO2 in +2 state, +3 state and +4 state. You can have TiCl2, TiCl3, very stable compound, and TiCl4 also. So various compounds of titanium are known in +2, +3 and +4 state. Then we can go for the vanadium, which has a 5 electrons. Maximum oxidation state of vanadium can be 5, but it also starts from +2, +3, +4 and +5. In chromium, you can have the oxidation state of +1, then +2, +3, +4, +5 and up to +6. In manganese, we can have oxidation state from +2, +3, +4, +5, +6 and +7. So this you can say from the Hund's rule arrangement also. In case of manganese, we have D5S2 configuration. So 3D orbital electrons are here having more energy, and s orbital electrons are here. So after the participation of the two electrons from the 4s level, the higher energy d orbital electrons, they are also participating one by one. That means +2 to +3, +4, +5, then +6, and ultimately when you have manganese +7, there is no electrons here. The configuration of argon, that is a stable inert gas configuration you have. So manganese +7 is diamagnetic, and all the electrons participating. The stability of various oxidation state depends on the redox potential data, which we will discuss later on when we will discuss about the Latimer diagrams. So, but when after the manganese, the d orbitals starts pairing up. For in the case of iron, we have 3d6, 4s2. So number of electrons starts pairing up in the d orbital like this way. One electron is paired here, and you are having the configuration like this way. So then the participation of the d electrons gets decreased. Now not all the electrons are not participating in the bond formation. So iron can have the oxidation state of +2, +3, +4, +5 and up to +6. In case of cobalt, you can have +2, +3, +4 and somewhere there is a doubt for the +5, but we can write here as a symmetry. So +2, nickel has +2, +3 and +4. Copper has only 2 oxidation state, +1 and +2, and zinc has only 1 oxidation state of +2, not the variable oxidation state, as the Zn +2 has 3d10 configuration. All electrons are paired and there is no tendency for electrons to be participating further. So D10 configuration of Zn2+, cadmium 2+, as well as mercury 2+ makes them highly stable full field configuration in the d orbital. So this is an overall look for the variability in oxidation state of the 3D series transition metals. And this data you can visualize as in the invert pyramid form. So this variability in oxidation state, the data which we have given here, that can be arranged in inverted pyramid. So the data obtained for the oxidation state. So you can see it here. The maximum oxidation state we can obtain in case of the group 7, the manganese having the configuration of D5S2, and you have the oxidation state from +2 to +7. So this is also true for the other elements of manganese group, and for the iron group there is some dissimilarities. The iron group, 2 other elements of the iron group, iron, ruthenium and osmium. The ruthenium can have maximum oxidation state of +8, as well as the osmium also has maximum oxidation state of +8 in RuO4 and OsO4. But iron has the maximum oxidation state of +6 only. So this is some dissimilarities in the group trend, and similarly we can have some tendencies here. In case of tungsten, in the chromium group, you have the oxidation state in +6 also. So because of the larger size, now you can ask the question, because of the larger size, why this is so? So because of the larger size of ruthenium and osmium, you have the oxidation state here is RuO4 +8 and OsO4 +8. These 2 compounds are highly oxidizing, and they are used as oxidizing agent in the various oxidation process of the organic chemistry. So these 2 compounds are very important to know. Now these elements, the transition metals, not having the oxidation state starting from +2 and goes up to +7 or +8. These elements, these metals also have the oxidation state in a 0. You can imagine how the oxidation state of 0 is possible. So there are some compounds, very well established compounds. Structures are given for such compounds. They are the metal carbonyls. Metal carbonyls, and in these metal carbonyls we are having the oxidation state of 0 for the FeCO5, Fe2CO9, Fe3CO12, all where, whether it is monocarbonyl, dicarbonyl or the tricarbonyl oxidation. In all the metal carbonyls, the oxidation state is 0, either in a mononuclear carbonyl FeCO5, Fe2CO9 or Fe3CO12. Not only iron forms the metal carbonyls, but there are other metals like chromium, manganese, cobalt, they are nickel, they are also forming metal carbonyls, and this is a very important class of the compound. I can give you some examples. CrCO6, metal carbonyl having the 0 oxidation state, Mn2CO10 having the 0 oxidation state for manganese. We have written about the Fe. Then you can have CO2CO8, 0 oxidation state, and for the NiCO4 you have the 0 oxidation state. So everywhere you have the compounds, metal carbonyls with the 0 oxidation state. Somewhere you may find the compounds with the negative oxidation states. In the metals, having the negative oxidation state is a very important idea, but these compounds with the negative oxidation state will be discussed further when I will discuss the coordination complexes of the metals, these transition metals. Then you can find the metals having the minus oxidation state of -1 and -2 also. So you cannot say this is not possible, this is not possible in the science. In the science, everything is possible and people are trying for that. So compounds we have discussed for these 3D series elements and other elements of the 4D and 5D series, they are also having the pyramid type of behavior for the oxidation states. So now let us discuss about the oxidation state of inner transition elements. That is called F block elements. In the F block elements we have lanthanides and actinides. As we know, the lanthanides and actinides belonging to group 3. So the most stable oxidation state of all the lanthanides is +3. This point should be remembered. All the lanthanides have the most stable oxidation state of +3. But somewhere there is a variability of in the oxidation state and changing from +2, or in some cases you are having the +4 oxidation state. So let us first write all the lanthanides as we have written it earlier: lanthanum, cerium, praseodymium, neodymium, promethium, samarium, europium, gadolinium, terbium, dysprosium, holmium, erbium, thulium, ytterbium and lutetium. So the configuration here is xenon 5d1 6s2, and electrons are participating here from S and D, and so the most stable oxidation state of lanthanum like the scandium and ytterium is +3. In case of cerium we have the oxidation configuration 4f1 5d1 6s2. So earlier we have the oxidation state of +3 from the participation of these two level electrons, and then further participation by the 4f electrons gives the oxidation state of +4 also. So cerium has two oxidation state, cerium +3 and cerium +4. You can have the compounds of cerium Ce2O3 and CEO2. So in this compound you have the cerium in +4 state. You can have cerium nitrate CeNO3 as +4 oxidation state, and you can have the compound Ce2NO3 in a +3 state. So this cerium nitrate is used as an oxidizing agent also, and we are doing some analytical chemistry lab practicals with the cerium nitrate. So praseodymium, neodymium, they are having now the configuration 4f3 6s2, but the most stable oxidation state is +3 for the promethium. But in case of samarium you have the oxidation state +2 also, and in case of europium, this +2 is stable enough, not more than +3, but the europium having the configuration of 4f7, 6s2, a half-filled configuration of europium gives it a stable configuration in +2 also. But here also it must be remembered that the +3 is more stable than +2. So europium +2 compounds are very common and known as EuCl2, EuSO4, and these compounds are precipitated out during the separation of lanthanides in the +2 and +4 states for the cerium. So after this, most of the lanthanides having the +3 state as the most common oxidation state. Only in case of nobelium, it's a thulium, ytterbium and lutetium. Only in case of ytterbium you have +2 state also because of 4f14 configuration. So +2 and +3 for the ytterbium. So in case of lanthanide, there is not much variability in the oxidation state. Almost all the lanthanides are having the +3 oxidation state. What you should remember here at this point, europium has +2 state, ytterbium has +2 state because of the half-filled and full-filled configuration. Cerium has +4 oxidation state because of one participation of one electron from the 4f level. Now you can ask the question, sir, why only one electron is being participated from the 4f level? Because it's only one electron which are having D characteristics. This electron is promoted from 5d to 4f level. 4f has more energy, and so the electrons are having the characteristic 4f. One electron of the 4f has the characteristics of 5d. So it's a 5d, only one electron is being participated out in case of lanthanides. Similarly, we can now proceed for the oxidation state of actinides. So now we are going to discuss the oxidation state of actinoids, and actinoids starting from actinium having the configuration of radon 6d1 7s2, and the most stable oxidation state for actinium similar to lanthanum is +3 here. But in case of thorium, the configuration is 6d2 7s2, no electron in the 5f orbital, and thorium has oxidation state of +4. No +3 oxidation state for thorium is known. So only +4 oxidation state. So this is a difference of the similar element cerium in the series of lanthanide. The elements proactinium, uranium, neptunium, plutonium, americium, having the configuration now and the oxidation states varies from +3, +4 and up to +5. The uranium 5f3 6d1 7s2, the oxidation state +3, +4, +5 and up to +6. Neptunium having the configuration 5f4 6d1 7s2 and oxidation state +3, +4, +5, +6 up to +7. Plutonium having the configuration 5f6 7s2 and the oxidation state again the same from +3 to +7. Americium 5f7 7s2, the oxidation state is +2, +3, +4 and somewhere you have the oxidation state of +6 also. Curium, berkelium, californium, einsteinium, fermium, mendelevium, nobelium, lawrencium. These are the called higher actinides. where you have the configuration 5f7, 6d1, 7s2, and the most stable oxidation state now is +3 only for everywhere, +3 only. In case of nobelium, where we have 5f14, 7s2, the oxidation state is +2 as well as +3. Lawrencium also has the oxidation state of +3 only. So there is a little variation here. In case of lanthanides, we don't have much variation, but in case of lower actinides, from thorium to plutonium, or you can say the americium, there is a much variability in the oxidation state. So why this variability? And the variability indicates that there is a participation of more and more electrons from the 5f level. So why it is so? In a standard textbook like J.D. Lee, you can read the reasons for such huge variability in the oxidation state for the lower actinides. The 5f electrons, because of the higher atomic number, are having the speeds near to the speed of the light, and there gets the relativistic effect. So because of the relativistic effect, the 5f orbital electrons and 6d electrons, they overlap with each other. So you cannot distinguish it properly which electron is in the 6d and which electron is in the 5f. So in case of these lower actinides, electrons are participating either from the 6d or from the 5f. Both of it are overlapping each other because of the relativistic effect and bigger size of the 5f orbitals. So these reasons are given in the books, and so we have much variability of the oxidation state. In case of uranium, you have the compound up to +6 state, and in case of neptunium, you have the compound up to +7 state. Americium, similar to europium, has the compounds in the +2 state also. One very important compound of americium is AmF2 in the +2 state. So these are some of the various oxidation states, variability of the oxidation states in case of inner transition elements as well as in case of transition metals. So it's all for the today. In the next class, we will discuss about the atomic and ionic sizes of the transition metals, lanthanides and actinides in detail. Thank you.